From being the longest Guardians movie ever to the official soundtrack surprisingly stepping out of the iconic 70s music, new Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 details have dropped, which you need to check out right now. Waiting anxiously for the movie? Well then, I'm gonna start with some news you'll love. GOTG Volume 3 has a runtime of over 2.5 hours. That's right, your patience shall be thoroughly rewarded. James Gunn recently answered a fan tweet about the movie's runtime, and he says it'll be around 2 hours and 29 minutes. Could be longer or shorter too. Now, that makes it the longest movie in the trilogy. Honestly, it makes sense. The threequel is Gunn's swan song, and he wants to complete everyone's story. In his own words, the longer runtime was necessary to experience the full arc, not just of every major character. Obviously, there have been plenty, but also the series itself gotta end on a high note. Whoa, hold up a minute. A movie of 180 minutes could be too lengthy. I'd even say there's a significant chance it could be boring, but not according to the director. He claims not a single second is wasted. He's made sure to utilize time to the max, so you don't walk out of the movie disappointed. And to bless you even more, DC's new boss man offers a premium experience for the audience by shooting the film in 1.901 IMAX format. So buckle up for a visual popping party, and listen to this. These confirmations were just the beginning of Gunn's revelations. My man has been going off on Twitter, dropping bombs left, right, and center. Who said multiple fan favorites would die? The director sure didn't. Whoa, wait, haven't we been scared witless about the fate of our misfits? After all, a massive rumor claiming we'll see many deaths has been circulating the net. Entertainment outlets already have their who will die predictions lists out, and not gonna lie, it's looking way too bleak out here. Then the official trailer piled up on that, dangling Rocket's crushing backstory, and people have already called it. It's the end of our adorable raccoon. Don't tell him I said that. Even Dave Bautista is ready for Drax to dive into the jaws of death. Now, all this had fans thinking Gunn's hinting at a mass murder event, but when the filmmaker was asked about it, he flat out denied it. James said he never even implied it. Basically, he debunked the rumor that had our hearts in our throats. So, I guess now we shouldn't be worried, right? But then, James went ahead, upping the ante yet again. Who cares about the galaxy? This time, the Guardians have to guard themselves. At least that's what the filmmaker says. He recently told the Empire that saving the universe is taking a back seat in this venture. Volume 3 is more about the Guardians saving themselves. Now, that again sounds doomed for at least one of our crew. Just make up your mind, Gunn. I can't handle the anxiety any longer.
I think you have to see Volume 3 to find
I'm
that.
actually scared.
You know, I mean, it's like we'll see where they go, but this is definitely the end of their story. Is this specific group of Guardians? Yeah.
One thing's for sure, the threequel will shatter you emotionally, leaving you crying your eyes out. James was caught on record saying it'll be less funny than fans are used to, especially with Rocket's story arc. We know this character is the only reason the now DC head returned to Marvel. He even calls him the secret protagonist of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and for him, telling his story was super heavy. So, deaths or no deaths, Volume 3 is packing an emotional punch. Not to mention, we've got an all-new vicious villain hunting Rocket and our Space Rangers. Chuck Woody's High Evolutionary is already making fans' blood run cold, so the a-holes better watch their back. Speaking of this villain, we don't know anything about him, or do we? Luckily, I've got some deets about this chilling villain and the other newcomers. Gunn says the High Evolutionary is one of his favorite villains in the Marvel roster. He's a mad scientist who specializes in making hybrid creatures, sparing no sadistic measure to do so. According to the director, he's like a space Dr. Moreau. James isn't even bothered with discreetness anymore. He outright calls him a detestable character. Maybe that's why he's brought some adorable newcomers to counter the vileness, such as the highly anticipated debut of Cosmo the Space Dog and an otter anthropomorphic, Lady Lila. Lila was seen embracing Rocket in the trailer, so you can already guess the tough guy may be getting some romance. Get this, the otter is his soulmate in the comics, so a love story is not that far-fetched. What's more, some of you may remember seeing a fuzzy ball of fur in the trailer. This cute four-eared creature was unnamed before, but in a tweet, Gunn has revealed the name. It's Blurp. So far, we don't know if this cutie is just a cameo, or if we'll see more of it. In another random detail, some people on Twitter were curious about Rocket's uncomfortable-looking shoes, but James calls them very ergonomic. Now, I don't know if he's just playing us with random bits at this point or not. but he sure is super active on microblogging sites. At least his teeny tiny hints have fans glued to their screens. Still, you can't have just casual info. Marvel recently blessed us with some official content too. Folks, feast your eyes on the new Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 posters. We've got 9 brand new stunning character posters. First, I've got to talk about the star of the show, Rocket, and his beast of a gun. It's his signature double-barrel rifle cannon complemented perfectly with a mean facial expression. And just like him, Drax is bringing his best battle face, whereas Groot, now dubbed Swole Groot, is all grown up. He's looking right at the lens with a smile that'll melt your heart. Mantis, Gamora, and Nebula are all sitting in their posters. Mantis has got a chill vibe going on, but Thanos' adoptive daughters are bringing up the sass. Interestingly, Gamora is not wearing a Guardians costume, and she's got a cool new hairdo too. On the other hand, Nebula is sporting the team's clothes this time, so she's officially a member of the galaxy-hopping gang. And so is Kraglin. He's got his poster, a Guardians costume, and Yondu's infamous techno mohawk. Oh, now I'm looking forward to seeing him whistle and draw blood with the Yaka arrow. And guys, even Cosmo has her own poster. So, are these all the characters? Wait, I haven't forgotten the team's lord. Chris Pratt's Peter Quill is looking sharper than ever with his power pose. This is curious because the actor said he actually wouldn't be his best self in the flick. Star-Lord is still bummed over Gamora. Apparently, he's drowning his sorrows in 2 things: booze and music. Peter has his new Zune MP3 player to keep him occupied, and it turns out it's totally changing the movie's soundtrack. Yep, the mixtape just dropped, and it's not what the stands expected. The Guardians of the Galaxy series has previously stuck with some 70s and 80s rock. It made sense, because that's all that Star-Lord has had on his Walkman since leaving Earth. But then Volume 2 gave him a Zune, so his music taste should be broadened, right? Gunn thought about sticking with the old school rock or going the Zune way. Ultimately, he decided on the latter. And now the Awesome Mix Volume 3 is packing some great variety. We've got about 17 songs on the official soundtrack, ranging from the 70s to the early 2000s. You've already heard 2 of them. Space Hogs, in the meantime, was crooning in the official trailer. And Come and Get Your Love by Redbone is already a familiar Guardians song. Honestly, the entire mixtape sounds banging so far. Now I'm amped up to hear them all along with the last journey of the Galactic Misfits Club. Here's to hoping they make it out alive. And on May 5th, we'll find that once and for all.
What you just saw in Hall H was nothing compared to the last day on set. Like, so we had the last day, it was me, you, Maria, Chris, and Zoe.
So, from the surprising official soundtrack that has me grooving already, to being the longest movie in James Gunn's trilogy, these were all fresh Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 details revealed recently.